Greetings and aloha to another cooking segment for Everyday Dish. My name is Brian Igarta and I'm the author of The Maui Vegetarian. And today we're going to do a special recipe for you. It's the Oriental Shumai. And this is one of the biggest sellers that we have on our food trailer down in Roseburg. And from what we heard, the people that have had it are addicted to it. So that's the warning that I want to give to you. So after you try it, you'll be like really jonesing for it. And it's a little bit complicated and time consuming, but it's really worth the try. So what we're going to do is make the filling using bulgur wheat. And I learned this recipe when I worked at a Japanese restaurant and it was made with hamburger. So we, being vegan, we used bulgur wheat instead of the hamburger, and we just kind of add our little own flair to it. And so we're going to start it off with some sesame oil. Get that nice and hot. And then some white onions. Some chopped garlic. And some fresh ginger. Now we want to, if you can get the young ginger, it's better because it doesn't have so much fiber, and you can use the whole thing, including the skin. But we're just using the regular mature ginger, which is just as good. And we're just gonna saute that off. Until it's nice and tender, and then we're gonna add our bulgur wheat. And we're just gonna kind of coat all the wheat with the oil. And then that's good. And from here we'll just add some water to it and let it kind of cook the wheat. It'll reconstitute it and it'll come kind of spongy, like a rice formation or consistency. And we're gonna cook this about 3/4 of the way and then come back to it and add some teriyaki sauce to it, and then totally cook this, and then we'll do the rest of the filling. Okay, we're just going to kind of check on our bulgur wheat here, and it's looking nice, and it's almost there. It's about halfway there. And so now we're going to kind of talk about the rest of the stuffing, which we use in our stuffing is napa cabbage or the wan bok. We use fresh green onions, carrots, cilantro, and water chestnuts. And again, this is kind of like what we like to use, but you can use whatever variation that you wanted to. And it's really important when you're doing this part of the procedure is to make sure that everything is finely chopped, as fine as you can, because what's going to happen is we're going to end up stuffing it in the little dumpling wrappers. And if it's a little bit big, it gets a little bit too hard to wrap it and seal it tightly. So you'll kind of see as we go along. So this is kind of like how we have it nice and finely chopped. Okay, now the bulgur wheat is almost about done. The water is almost drained out. So what we're going to do at this point is we're just going to add some teriyaki sauce to it. And you can use any kind of teriyaki sauce, or even make your own for that reason. And sometimes I just throw shoyu, any type of shoyu in, and sugar to this recipe if I don't have the teriyaki sauce. And what's going to happen now is the bulgur wheat is going to pick up all the teriyaki. We kind of want it, we want the filling sweet, because the sauce will be a sweet sour and spicy. So that way, when you eat it, it wraps around your whole tongue. You'll have sweet, sour, spicy, and the vinegar. And we'll just let this thing cook down, and then we'll assemble the rest of the stuffing. Okay, our bulgur should be just about done, which it is. It should look nice and tight like this. And what we're going to do to this is just turn off the fire and add a little hoisin to it. And if you don't have hoisin sauce, you can also use the star anise powder, which I've been using lately. and it works just as well. And just stir it all, mix it all together, and you can kind of see it looks like a consistency of hamburger without the mou flavor. So we just add that to in the bowl here, and then we'll add the vegetables in raw, just like so, and give it a mix. And there'll be enough heat that's coming off the bulgur to just about soften the vegetables so we can get it, so we can roll it. And just make sure it's mixed well. And that's the end of our filling right here. Okay, now we're ready to stuff the shumai. And what we do is we buy the wrappers. These are the wrappers. And they have thick ones and thin ones. I prefer the thin ones. If you like more dough in yours, then take the thick ones. And as you can see, each one has a little bit of powder on this, and the powder keeps it from sticking. The powder is probably cornstarch. And what we do is I like to keep the part with the cornstarch on the outside, or the most cornstarch on the outside, to show you why later. And you just take a little dollop like so, get some water, and just kind of get it around the edges. And the important part is here to squeeze it tight. Now you want to try to get all the air out, because what's going to happen when you cook it, it's going to blow up on you. And then we just kind of wet the edges and bring it together, kind of like a tortellini. And see why I like the cornstarch on the outside is because when we stick them next to each other, it prevents them a little bit to keep them from touching to each other. And when you make these with fresh dough, it won't last so long in the refrigerator. So you're going to have to like either freeze it or eat it when you make it. Okay, now that we assembled the shumai, we're going to start to cook it. And the way we do that was to use a nonstick skillet and some sesame oil in the pan. And then we just lay our shumais in. And at this point, what we want to do is get it golden brown. And if it turns a little black on the bottom with a little burn, don't worry about it because it'll add to the flavor as long as it's not really scorched. But we want to try to get it as brown as we can. So just give these a quick check. That's about the doneness that you want right about here. And just get them over on its side so we can brown the other side. And from this point, we're just gonna get it browned and then hit it with some water so we can steam it off. And then we'll just go finish it right with the sauce. We'll just go right into it with the sauce. And what we'll do is now add some water, and kind of be careful at this point because you can probably get some fires in your home if you have a lot of oil in the pan, because it's, as you can see, it's smoking. And then we're going to hit it with some water and then cover it right away. And if the shumai is frozen, you may have to add a little bit more water in here so you can defrost it. From right here, we're just going to start on the sauce, which is going to be soy sauce, some lemon juice, some lemon juice, and then some hot sauce. You can use any type of hot sauce you're familiar with. I like this hot sauce with a little vinegar inside because then it tends to kind of twist your tongue, and then a little bit of garlic at the end. And what we're going to do is quickly reduce this down to almost a really tight consistency. And that's right about there. And these little guys are done, and we just come right here and plate them off. And again, these are like little ravioli, so you can stuff them with whatever type of filling that you would want. But even the sauce as well too, you know, you can kind of do any variation that you like. But I kind of found this one to be my favorite. And then just garnish with some green onions, some cilantro. And there you have it, the Oriental Shumai from the Maui Vegetarian. Come check us out down in Roseburg before we run out of these, and remember to find the recipe on everydaydish.tv. Thanks.